Let me try to do this in a very real-life application, all right? And you two can check me on this at any time. But in life and business, leaders don't blame other people. Now, I don't know fully how both of you guys were raised. I know some. I know enough to know I wasn't allowed to blame other people for my failures. Wasn't allowed to do it. And I've tried to do the best I can, and you guys know this is every day. If a segment doesn't go the way I want, I don't blame others. I go, what could I do better? It's part of, I think, what makes people good or not in this world. Don't give yourself an out. Don't cheapen yourself. Don't blame others. Blame you. That's it. And true leaders, they don't blame anyone, and they accept responsibility. Now, look, let me give you a different example, because I think with Harbaugh, it's too emotional for many people. But Harbaugh's a CEO. If you're the CEO of a company, big or small, you don't get to blame other people. Your shareholders will not accept that. Your board will not accept that. And if you do blame others, the excuses you offer, and that's exactly what blame is, it's an excuse, becomes unbelievable at a certain point. And the parallel I would draw for Michigan football is that you have become very comfortable blaming others for your failures going on 17 years. See, this isn't the first, only, or last time a Michigan coach has blamed officiating or, quote, we deserve better, which, again, it's another tenet in life. You're entitled to nothing. That's what you're entitled to in this world. Nothing. Oh, sure, you're entitled to the pursuit of happiness. You're not entitled to happiness. You're not entitled to wealth. You're not entitled to a great life. You're entitled for the chance to work for it. I have a problem with it. And, I pulled a couple of quotes. John Wooden, you heard of him?
Yes.
Okay. John Wooden, pretty good leader. Let me give you this quote. A strong leader accepts blame and gives the credit. A weak leader gives the blame and accepts the credit. Another one from John Wooden. Nobody's defeated until they blame someone else. Don't fix the blame, fix the problem. Let me give you another one. It's from Don Shula. Heard of him? More than just a steakhouse in Troy in the mid-'90s.
Undefeated Dolphins coach, yes.
The superior man blames himself. The inferior man blames others. I say these things because I have to tell you, if I were a Michigan fan, I would be very tired. I would be very weary because my CEO is making excuses. Whenever someone says, I'm not going to make an excuse, but it's the equivalent of saying, well, I'm not a racist, but ...
The next thing out of my mouth will be a racist comment.
The qualifier tells me everything you're about to do. Now, yesterday, look, I told you, we weren't going to go crazy with the Harbaugh stuff, but the morning show did the interview, and right on cue, I think Harbaugh provided some red meat to the base. And I don't subscribe to that stuff. I don't like it when coaches blame players. Harbaugh's done it multiple times. I don't like it when coaches blame officials. Harbaugh's done it. I don't like it when programs play the victim. Be better. I made an example to you. A couple weeks back now, MSU played Indiana in a razor-tight game. And if you watched it, it was one of the biggest circuses in officiating ever. MSU was called for 17 penalties. 13 were accepted. Indiana was called for 3. It was insane. Didn't cry about it. Didn't make big deal about it. And MSU's players rose above it. Make enough plays to get the win. In a football game, there's probably going to be between 100 to 140 snaps, depending on pace. You've got opportunities to figure it out. The bottom line in this, and I want to throw the number out, is 248-539-9797. Jim Harbaugh is not a leader. And it's really emblematic of what your football program has become, but has become comfortable with. This is about what you're willing to accept. Michigan football for 17 years. It's like the old Staples commercials. You remember the easy button?
Yeah.
Bing. Michigan has become comfortable being the victim. The refs are out to get us. The free press is out to get us. The Big Ten doesn't like us. Kevin Warren's son. Jim Delaney this. The media that. It's always something. Versus, look inward. 4th and 4 for Michigan State. Make a play. You gave up a 30-yard pass. 4th and 1 for Michigan State. Make a play. Gave up a 40-yard pass. 4th and 1. Game control on the line. Make a play. You false start. 2-point conversion. Stop one. You didn't. Red zone. 4 field goals. Make plays. No 2006 referee. So I don't blame other people. I don't like when people blame other people. And when you're paid millions of dollars a year to do your job, I think it is hilarious to go on the radio and to say, I'm not making excuses. But here comes excuses and, quote, my players deserve better. That's not standing up for the team. That's you passing on the sense of entitlement you have about what you deserve and passing it on to your players. And the sense of entitlement is why you have been kicked in the sack for 17 years, because everybody else is willing to grind harder than you. Everybody else is willing to do the things it takes to get what they want. Look, Mel Tucker had a quote last week, and I think it's really apropos here. And I'm not doing this because it's Tuck. It's just right on. I ask my players, what do you want? And then what are you willing to do to get it? There is absolutely no room for entitlement. And Michigan football and its CEO are still living in a world where they feel like they are better than because ... We were good when black people didn't play. We played before you. We in Ohio State founded the Big Ten. We beat the Michigan School for the Deaf. We won a title in 1903. Our helmets have wings. None of those things matter in 2021. Nobody cares. And your opponents don't care. So while you are sitting here, days after that game, still talking about how you were wronged, how you're aggrieved, how you somehow are entitled to better treatment, you're spending no time solving the problem, which is this. You had 120 snaps, 130 snaps to overcome a play that, mind you, is very debatable. Right. So I want to know from Michigan fans where you're at with it, because I will tell you, if Michigan State head coach did this routine, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Rico, please.
No, I mean, the fact that at no point did I hear how he needed to be better, how he needed to come up with better strategy, how on 4th and 3 on the Michigan State 31-yard line with 1:47 to go, you came up with an incomplete pass. You didn't have the right play. How constantly throughout the game, your defense had too many men on the field. He didn't bring any of this up saying, guys, I needed to be better. I need to have my team more prepared. We will do better against Indiana. Because, have yet to hear them talk about Indiana. It is all about this play.
Thank God they're playing Indiana and not someone good this week.
Right. Because this play, you had an entire half to get it done. Well, what would have happened if they would have scored? Well, what would have happened if Quavaris Crouch picks up that fumble and runs it down? You want to play the what-if games? There's a ton of what-if games. But the fact that at no point has this man just come out and say, I needed to be better. This game's on me. We're going to move on.
There's a million plays that we could have made that we could have and should have won the game, and we didn't do it.
Well, it's not fair for my team. Dude, a lot of stuff's not fair for your team.
But do you believe that has become what Michigan football is?
It's so on brand because it's entitlement, Mike, because Michigan – we make jokes about it, but we make jokes about it because it's true. They've never lost a game. It was raining. It was the field. It was Crown. It was COVID. It was the refs. I mean, it was a botched snap. It was, it was a lucky play. JT was short. I mean, every game they've lost, there has always been a reason. I have never heard somebody say, you know what? We just lost the game.
It goes to the players, too. You saw number 90, Mike Morris,
Right.
complaining about the officiating. Well, A, he gets that from his coach. But B, ironic that Mike Morris should be thankful the officials were so terrible, according to him, because Mike Morris tried to choke out Kenneth Walker in proximity to an official, and there was no call. You can see it, guys. It's on film. He choked a player.
Fourth quarter, 5-minute, 32-second mark. It'd be a shame if that video got to the Big Ten office.
But that's my point. Yeah. There's a great irony in it. So I want to know from you guys about how you take Harbaugh's remarks, because I think if you're deep in the cult, you're going to actually think he's taking up for his team, which means you're too far gone to understand reality.
But Mike, think about it. When was the last time Michigan just lost? Well, Brady Hoke was a boob, and Rich Rodriguez doesn't count because he was horrible.
Take away Walker's big runs. What did he do?
Take away his 5 touchdowns, and you got shut out. Okay. We make fun because it's constant.
Because comedy is based on there being a little bit of truth, an ounce of humor in it.
Right.
It can't just be made up,
well,
right?
You won last year because of COVID. You won in 2017 because it rained in half the field. It was like the Crown Field of Oregon. Like I said, JT was short. Like every game that they've lost, there was a reason.
But this is
why.
What they specialize in.
It's never been, guys, we had a chance to make a play. It was 4th and 3 with 1:47 seconds left.
Run your best play. Have your quarterback find the open man. How about was it 3rd and 3 or 4th and 3 where they ran a pick play? And I'm not saying it was illegal.
It was 4th and 3.
It was 4th and 3. You run a pick play. 2 Spartans collide with each other. You have your back, I believe, coming out of the flat because of that collision. No one on him. Yeah. Your quarterback didn't make the right read. Yeah. How about you just make the play that's right there? See, it's easier to blame other people because it keeps the distraction away from your failures. I don't think Jim Harbaugh is being a leader. And I don't believe he's a good leader. All of the Corvettes and the toothbrush stories and the enthusiasm unknown to mankind and who's got it better than us and it's great to be and the khakis and the sleepovers and all this stuff. None of that's being a leader. That's being a show.
But, I mean, Mike, then when you have Harbaugh and you have every Michigan person come out, you got Rich Eisen. I heard that little 8-minute soliloquy of how bad the refs just hate them.
But you know why?
And it's like,
because Rich Eisen's a cultist.
Guys.
Rich Eisen, for basically 17 years of his life, has now had it taken away from him. He believes, and the Michigan old guard believes, they have a right to joyous Saturdays. They have a right to play in the Rose Bowl. But the point is, in this world, you are entitled to nothing.
If the final play, if that fumble happens on the final play, I'll let you complain all you want because there's nothing you can do. But if you can still go out there and make a play and do, here's the thing. Kenneth Walker almost gets his head torn off. He sat there, he readjusted his helmet, and then he scored a touchdown, the game-winning touchdown. Why? Not going to complain. The refs didn't throw a flag. I'm not going to sit here and flail my arms. But every time, Mike, I've yet to hear them just come out and say, you know what? Tip my hat to you, man. That's a great game. Great game. We made some mistakes, but you guys, you won the game. There is always a freaking excuse.
So what do you want to do with
time.
it? Tell me, Michigan fan. What do you want to do with it? Because I don't think the guy you pay to lead is leading.